Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogi Monster here. Welcome to Why the Fascination, or WTF as I like to call it. Sorry, I was a couple minutes late. I was looking at a different clock. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing this week? I hope everybody's having a wonderful week. My week's been pretty good so far. So you guys Tuesday. Yesterday, I got to do some exploring, tried to do some investigating. We'll talk about that. Might be having somebody come on tonight. I gotta send the link out here soon. Let me see hi to everybody in chat. Oh man, it's great to see everybody here. Brandy, what's up? Hey, Lockbeard, Mike's Adventures. What's going on, Mike? Mr. Joe Pass, how's it going? Squatching Cowboy. Stevie B, how are you? Hey, Sandy. Ida Bustamante. Murray, what's happening, buddy? Who else? Rex Hand, how's it going, man? Aotearoa, tell me how to pronounce it. What's happening? Sandra Piper, hello. Who else is here? Bigfoot Anon, what's happening? That's clever. I like it. Linda Bennett, how are you? What else we got here? Mr. Lee 3PO, of course. You're always here, buddy. What's going on, man? This shirt looks a little too relaxed. It's been on a hanger too long. Live wire. What's going on, Mark? Hope everything's good with you, man. I'm just scrolling up to see who else is here. Jenny Metz, hey. Great to see you. Sentex Legend, what's up, man? Yeah, there's definitely a show tonight, obviously. So yeah, not too much going on tonight. Yesterday, Lane and I went up to the property where we did the expedition, 168 hours. I wanted to go and try to debunk or see what's going on with those lights. It was kind of a bust. I didn't get the footage I wanted to get. And I have a bunch of footage. I'll put something together and show you guys. But I wanted to get past this one. Keep calling it a tree line, but it's actually like a hammock. That's what they call it down here. It's just this little clump of trees, but all around this hammock of trees was this really thick vegetation and it kind of spread out, and I couldn't see myself dragging camera equipment through there. Pigs were active. We were walking in, we saw like 3 pigs, small pigs, and then while I went in to try to get into the this tree line or this hammock through the hammock, and it wouldn't have mattered if I had gotten through because the vegetation on the other side was just as thick. So I would need a 10-foot, tripod just to get over that. So I filmed the area. I had set up the camera in front of the hammock and heard something to my left and turned the camera. I don't even know if I picked it up. I haven't reviewed anything yet, but there was a pig maybe, 35 feet away. He was kind of broadside, and I saw his ears. I wasn't sure what it was at first because it was getting dark. And then as soon as I twitched, he was gone. But it was funny because I'm standing there with knife in hand, talking to the camera. My laptop was recording at the same time, so it's probably got some audio on it because I had my microphone out in this big grassy field. It was fun though. So yeah, I tried to get. I figured if I move further back, I might have a little bit. There was a little bit more higher elevation in that one pavilion, so I had just set up there and was trying to, get the camera on one of these lights, and because I could see them, but I wanted to catch him with the camera on the tripod, so it's not moving. The camera's not moving at all because everybody else. I was shaking the last time. I tried picking the tripod up and see it, and I could see the light for a second, but I'm moving. So, so I just got set up, and then we had some noise coming from the woods to our left. And I believe it was another pig or two, because it was scurrying about. It wasn't these big footfalls or anything, but Lynn felt it was time to go, so we split. I'm going to go through the footage I have, and we'll see what happened, what I got. But it was good to get up there. As far as they do control burns up there. That place is fine. There was some worry that the place was like decimated or something. No. Jamie Harms, what's happening? Dawn of the Dead. It's such a great name. 420, of course. Hey, Blue. Jamie. The Jamies are here. Bobby Younts. Hey, good to see you. So yeah, I didn't get the footage I wanted to get. I'm going to look into, maybe I can get a very large, a tall tripod to see over that grass, because and there's another part of the experiment that Lynn had brought up, and it's getting the where I want to like video the lights looking, where I think we're looking, down this road. That's 5 miles away. She brought up recording, like, while I'm recording this way, I also have a camera behind me recording towards, the back of the hammock where people think the lights are coming from. I think they're coming from further away. So it's a good idea. So there's going to be another trip up there in the future, which is fine. I think we should just keep following through with this and figure it out. It's fun. I don't know what it is. The place doesn't bother me. It doesn't scare me. I have no emotion about it. I mean, it's a beautiful place. I really like it there. But nothing yet. Nothing like has made me crap my pants yet. So, who else just showed up? Robin Lynn, how are you, hon? Drake, what's going on? I gotta send out a invite. I just have to figure out where I'm sending it. I will send it here. Sorry, just had to get that out. And that's a done deal. So I did get some, I heard some people got their mugs today. That's awesome. I hope you guys enjoy them. It's kind of fun, with this mug on your mug. It's a little scary, but still fun. I'm going to have to get a new one. Mine became a casualty of the dog tail, literally. It's not a dog tail. Yeah, it did hit the ground and just toast, but that's cool. I got another one. What else? Papa Craig, what's up? Hey, Barb. Good to see you. Yeah, I didn't have a nap today. I'm tired. So I did send that. There it is. Oh, okay. I'm going to bring someone on right now. It's Bigfoot Anon. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, man? Honored to be here and a line from the stars. It's meant to be.
Right on, man. Tell us about yourself, man.
Yeah, originally I'm from Ohio, and now I live down in the Florida swamps, right across the timeline from where you're staying right now. But I
Right
lived
on.
out in my car, joined a punk rock musical band, and then we road tripped across America, and I wrote a couple books about it. I wrote Erie Swamps, Road Trip to Eden. It's about moving from Lake Erie down to the Florida swamps, and we ended up at the Garden of Eden Trail. 27
Right
of the
on.
28 trees in the Bible are in that park. And there's been a plethora of Sasquatch sightings. Stacy Brown and his father got that great thermal footage from right down the road from here and right down the creek from the Garden of Eden. So it's just been a journey and adventure, and I'm very, untraditional about it. I'm trying to access the ancient ways. I'm all about the kumbaya around the campfire, mixing potions. I take my guitar out there, my ocarina. We stay out there for hours on end, try to battle through the weather. We go kayaking. And then
Right on.
recently, a member from my team found a giant bone, a first metacarpal thumb bone of a mound builder. And the Discovery Channel reached out to us. So we're going to be doing Expedition X with Josh Gates next month.
Right
And
on.
it's going to be incredible. And they're going to test it. And my guess is it's going to come back, unknown male, and then,
Sure.
female mother, of course, just like
Undeterminable.
the Sasquatch Genome Project proved with more than 125 cases. Modern science just can't accept that unknown factor. Something came from the sky, something came from the other continent, something came from Middle Earth. It's right below our feet. It's right inside of us, And that's my whole thing. Like, if Bigfoot's real, then what else is? And I've had experiences with creatures in the swamp, creatures in Ohio River. I grew up on Lake Erie, so the serpent was always a thing. Now I've been investigating the Pensacola serpent, of course, the skunk ape. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Ocheesee Pond wildman, but, in the 1800s, they captured 3 of them right here in the Ocheesee Pond, and they took them to Chattahoochee Hospital and buried them about 3 years after they died, and got tested on a bunch of experiments. And Two Egg TV has been a great job of reporting on that, and they're actually doing a 3-part series, and part 3 comes out tomorrow, and it's talking about how they found other skeletons and mummified Native Americans on islands in the swamp. It's just so crazy that, like, finding Bigfoot and all the the big major Bigfoot organizations haven't picked up this story yet, just because it is solid evidence. But they built a building on top of where the old graveyard was, and there's more than like 500 bodies buried over there, because Andrew Jackson had a prison full of Native Americans back in the day. And this whole area is a convergence of ley lines and stained soil. So just a combination of, especially after the storm hit, Hurricane Michael, and then the floods of Hurricane Sally, just the terror and misery between people has brought these demons out. But it's not all bad stories, because, over in Ocala, there was a great story of this woman. She had a compound fracture in her leg. She was bleeding out. She was going to die. And this orange orangutan looking lady carried her to camp. And I love stories like that. There's been so many. But there's also other ones like Missing 401, Dennis Martin, Cullen Finnerty, Henry McCabe. I think all of them might have been killed by Sasquatch. Even Jared Adadero, he went up to 2 fishermen and said, "Hey, is there bear here?" And like, what would have made him say that? There's just so many stories of, Albert Osman and, the Sasquatch documentary that just came out on Hulu, that dove into it. It put the toes in the cold water. But man, there's so many weed farmers and prospectors that have bit the dust these creatures. And
Well, but it's pretty interesting how, it didn't even, Sasquatch was, taken out of it pretty, before it ended, and because it went down that other, avenue. But it's interesting what they said about, the amount of people that go missing.
mm-hmm.
And because of that,
unreported too.
Of that trade.
Yep. A lot of the illegals come over.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not getting into it anymore.
Did you see that Bobo was really upset with how they cut his interview? Like, they made him seem one way, and he's like, no, that was out of context. He posted multiple posts, calling them out. So he's unhappy with how it actually came out, which is just interesting.
He almost looked anorexic, dude. That was scary. I was like, whoa, wait, what happened? When did he lose the weight?
He's lost a ton of weight, and in a recent interview, they jokingly are like, "Are you good? Are you healthy?" And he said no, but he wasn't. He's not sick, he's just not fit either. And who is now? Anybody that's watching the news is not mentally fit anymore. I advise everybody to get sunlight, get moonlight, go hiking, go dip your feet in the creek. Come on, let's be kids again. That's the best thing for your immune system and for humanity, is to communicate in vibrations, man. All we are is protons and electrons, and we're particle form, and in our true moments, we can become waveform. And that's what I think, Sasquatch, when he does all this supernatural stuff, it's just them really becoming earthlings and transcending into their one. But of course, they have echolocating and infrasound and just heightened senses and abilities. Just think us, man, and people that are primal and have lived in the woods for years, just think how adapted they are. They could smell us when we come in. So it's very odd when we stumble upon one that we surprise, but like them, they are a type of people. So there are levels to it, and the highest chiefs can go through portals and transcend into one. But these young ones, those are the ones that get spotted, the rogue males, because it's mostly a family setup. And there's tons of caves here in the Panhandle of Florida. Man, if you ever want to come visit, I could take you to the Florida caverns, which have had strange sightings of shadow type creatures. And it's the only guided cavern tour in the state of Florida. And there's 28 cave systems in the park, and they only let you in 2 of them. So what's all in the other ones, and it leaks into the aquifer. And, Godzilla was about Pensacola recently. I think it's all just leading to something huge. Of course, like Project Bluebeam, there's going to be a false alien invasion, but the Simpsons predicted, man, Sasquatch is going to come out in 2021. And I think it's already out. If anybody is a fan of Dixie Cryptid or How to Hunt or David Paulides, the stories are already out there. The movies, Alien, Predator, all have reality roots, just like Lord of the Rings, Shrek, The Grinch. Those are all Bigfoot to me, all in my heart. Those are the ancestors in the forest, man. And they try to paint it as these other creatures. Even the movie Bone Tomahawk with Kurt Russell, it was a Western that it was natives that they were called troglodytes, cave monsters. And they had these weird things in their throat that messed with their vocal cords, and they could make weird calls. And that's a Bigfoot movie. They don't have to be hairy to be Bigfoot. Mothman could be a Bigfoot. Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Swamp Thing, Predator. It all links together. But then you go look at the Myakka skunk ape and then Patty. Those are 2 different type of creatures. So there is a lot going on. And then throw in Dogman and Rougarou and werewolves and vampires. It's deep out here, man.
Yeah, I take them one cryptid at a time.
Yeah.
I've dealt with the paranormal. I know that exists. I'm familiar with that. So now it's, I'm going to concentrate and put some effort and energy into the whole Bigfoot thing, but here it's not just about Bigfoot. This show is anything as far as, could be ghosts, UFOs, whatever. Somebody's seen something, for instance, my buddy called me up the other day, 8 a.m. from Arizona, to tell me that he had a Bigfoot sighting. less than 48 hours before. I was the first one he called. That was the only one he knew to tell. And that would believe him.
Only one he felt comfortable with.
Yeah, and you said most people see like a male, but no, he saw a female and a juvenile coming down a hill, and when they locked eyes, they just squatted and stood there until it got dark.
Wow, that's interesting.
They just blended right in.
You've heard it laying on the ground, kind of like a spider
yeah.
on all fours, crawling. Man, that's pretty wild.
Just squatted, looked like a stump, and waited.
I road trip through Arizona, and I know, man, the desert really plays games with your mind. And when I was at the Grand Canyon, just the vibrations are just crazy there. Convergence of ley lines. I believe there's civilizations under there. They found, Aztec ruins. They found ancient Egyptian
stuff down there.
So I just think there's a convergence of all these chambers under earth, subterranean chapters, that we can all combine with. I'm huge on Middle Earth and the Fountain of Youth and, the Garden of Eden. I joke to people that, Abraham Lincoln and Hitler might still be alive. All of them had a process and a way out. And the way history has been written has been, whitewashed and lied to. There's tons of presidents before George Washington, and you guys already know about the mound builders, man. There was a race of giants that lived in America that built thousands of mounds. I'm from Ohio, man, land of 10,000 mounds.
Yeah, but then that here in Florida, there's the Calusa mounds.
Oh yeah,
that are all over the place.
Yep.
I was yesterday. I was amongst them. There are mounds in this area. There's old canals, ancient canals. This was an ancient civilization.
Mm-hmm.
They died off, or they left the area. I think the last ones were around in the late 1800s, but they were there for over 1,000 years. So here you have, and the reason I'm bringing this up is somebody had mentioned, do you think that the Bigfoot are attracted to these areas, to these mounds or orbs? Because, we've been seeing odd stuff up there.
Mm-hmm.
So my theory, my thought was, it's an ancient civilization. It goes back 1,000 years. Why wouldn't I'm trying to remember how I got into this, and it was.
I would say, why wouldn't they? They built them. They had something to do with watching it, or they were the ones it was built to watch out for. They had something to do with the making. So of course they would converge on that. And the ancient canals, those were paved by those people. The bayous out in Mississippi, they say those were carved by the Titans. I don't know if you're familiar with mud fossils, but mountains used to be alive. They've looked at these mountains, and it goes right into the eye, and the caves go and they follow like a human body anatomy, and these monsters used to be giant. Jack and the Beanstalk's a true story. I look at every piece of anime and cinema as a little bit of roots of reality. It's very cool that there's lands in the sky and holes in the ground that go deep below, and there's thousands of continents. Admiral Byrd, Medal of Honor award winner, he found lands beyond the poles full of luscious jungle with woolly mammoths still alive. So it's so crazy just to think what's capable under our sky. We got to stop drawing the lines, because we're just going by what every society's telling us, but they're lying with the first thing. We got to find.
Yeah, we also can't believe everything we hear.
True.
Like you're talking about Byrd finding woolly mammoths that were alive. Is there proof of that?
Military mission, and had his diary. Okay. So all we can go by is, the ones we support. But I just want to even throw that idea out there. Modern society and modern anything doesn't even allow that idea to be presented. So it's all about just having the option of knowing. And that's what's sad about nowadays with everything. It's just so constricted that nowadays, more than anything, it's clear there is an agenda and we have to break free or else.
Well, yeah, that we
nothing
do,
left.
but it's channels like this, channels like Bigfoot Odyssey, Sasquatch Chronicles that are going to, that are great channels. I'm not saying this particular one, but in general, is bring the subject to the forefront.
100%.
And too many people look at it like it's a joke.
We got to look back at those people like they're a joke because they're denying a whole existence that has already been confirmed by the military, police, firemen. They're scared. We can comfort them by telling them the truth. How many of these people have went missing in dense areas that maybe would have had their life saved if they weren't so hard-headed, or if someone near them just would take the fall and just at least let them know. So I'm willing to look like the goofball every day, letting people know that, oh, be careful in the woods. Sasquatch is out there. I work at a comic book store, which brings the goons and the goblins. And I tell them every day, be careful when you're camping. And I get laughed at more than not. And who cares, man? I'm trying to find my ancestor. Every Sunday, they're at church in the street side shrines learning about, Cain and the Edomites and the chosen ones. Why not look in the forest? And some are not capable of looking in the forest, but some of us are. So let's do it, and that's what I'm all about.
Well, I don't know, dude. I don't get into the whole philosophical side of everything. I'm just, my goal is a personal one. My journey is to see that I want to see one.
Mm-hmm.
That's my proof. That's my proof.
Have you had any?
To you.
Have you had any?
But
yeah, I don't need any proof. I don't know if you saw the emails that I sent you, but I got the picture of this bad boy. Probably like 6 months ago along the Japola River, where there's a plethora of sightings. And I know it's blurry. It's with a GoPro camera all zoomed in. And I got a picture of this strange carcass, which a lot of people say it's a bloated gator, but it definitely looks strange. And it was in the Honey Island swamp.
I was looking at that too, but it's got the shape, sort of has the shape of a gator, but I've never seen. Yeah. I thought it would be more of a deer or something along those lines, the way that thing bloated.
That's what I thought. I thought it was a deer because it was about 8
But the two ends make more sense if it was a gator.
Yeah, the captain at the door said it was a gator. It really smelled bad. Why wouldn't all the other gators eat it? Even if it was a deer or a gator, wouldn't they eat it? That's why I always said it could have been, Rougarou or just waste, because there's a space testing area there and, just mutated.
I don't think that was waste.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck that thing is, but it was very cool, and I definitely recommend people go to Honey Island Swamp because if you're a fan of the Hatchet series and Victor Crawley, that's the legend. He kills everybody that goes in the Honey Island Swamp, and then goes to the Rougarou legend from old Cajun times. It's like 40 minutes away from New Orleans. It's a freaking bucket list, man. It's awesome.
Right on. So you said you were in Arizona?
No, I'm in Florida. But
you went through Arizona?
I stayed in Arizona, in Tucson, and then I think just like an overnighter in Phoenix. But we met this dude in Tucson that let us stay at his condo for a few nights just to help clean it. And oh man, it was so crazy. Yeah, we couch surfed across America and met so many wild, people. And we were a punk rock band, so we were wild people ourselves. So I'm just a fan of history and sports. And just everything, common knowledge just coming together. So being on the road and roadside America, and I was looking for everything, craters.
Sports doesn't have a big spot in my life. I'm not a big sports fan.
I try to find the interesting parts of it, I don't know, just like the legends, like the New York Yankee ghosts and stuff. And the Cleveland Indians had a ghost legend with Chief Wahoo. So I just always
like you get into curses and all that too. But
yeah, I'm a big fan of cursed movies, and because I work at a comic store, so I have a little pile here of cool movies, Bigfoot titles. Monstrous, about the Beast of Whitehall. the Phoenix Lights. Shout out the Mogollon Monster, my boy. I actually have a chapter in my Bigfoot book about the Mogollon Monster when we stayed, at the Grand Canyon in Flagstaff, and then a little bit of stories from Tucson. So I'll have to send you a copy of that once I get my author copies. The best Bigfoot movie ever, Lord of the Rings. The scariest Bigfoot movie ever exists, made by the same people that made the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very cool. It's shot found footage style in Texas, so it's the wood boogers, the boogeyman. Everybody's heard of the boogeyman, but they don't know that's Bigfoot. He'll make it all the way into your hallway. But yeah, they accidentally hit a baby Bigfoot, and then the mother, lets them feel the wrath, and it is crazy, and it's really cool, and it shows like the humanity side of Bigfoot. Then there's the Wolfman remake with Anthony Hopkins and Benicio del Toro. Of course, watch the original one, but that one has some very cool CGI. Strange Wilderness. This is a really funny comedy one with Steve Zahn and Jonah Hill back in the early days.
Are there going to be copyright infringements here?
No, it shouldn't. Just for the covers, we're not showing any footage, so I think we're all right. They should be happy that we're still talking about their old movies. And then rest in peace, Brandon Lee. He was killed making this movie. Yeah, and his dad was killed a suspicious way too. So it's just so crazy how cinema intertwines with history and how it impacts society.
Yeah, I think Bruce Lee was that was with a gun, wasn't it? Or was
Brandon Lee, it was like a little shard of a casing. It was supposed to be an empty, but some say they put something in it and it barely hit him.
I forgot how Bruce Lee died.
Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracies with it. Some say he was assassinated, and some say he died of like cancer. But same thing with Bob Marley. He died of cancer of the toe because someone stabbed him in his toe. Eazy-E died of AIDS because Suge Knight. Luckily, we could say that he's behind bars right now, so I think we're all right. But yeah, there's like I said, man, history is his story. Oh, man, that's why my thing's called His Story Rewinds. I'm trying to just rewind the story with the truth and try to, just spread knowledge my own way. And it's definitely untraditional and sometimes unconventional. But, hey, 1 foot forward, especially in this world where everybody's hiding right now. Us in Florida are lucky enough to go still explore and hit the rivers and,
Speaking of that, let me ask you about kayaking down here. How have you had any experiences or seen anything kayaking?
Not wild kayaking, but definitely got caught in storms and had to get saved by my neighbor under a highway pass like last week when we were searching for the rest of the thumb bone. My guy said there's a clavicle in this big, sheetrock, long rock. And it was so flooded out that we didn't have much luck, but we got stuck in the storm as well. But no, I haven't had any.
How did you find this? Were you guys looking for, teeth, shark teeth and shit like that? Or
Yep. Just looking for fossils, gold, and anything possible. And it's in Spring Creek in Mariana, which is a really hot spot for, megalodon teeth and fossils manatee, dugong, even saber-toothed tiger. And a lot of cool stuff has been found. That's why it could come back like a short-faced bear or a giant sloth. I don't really care. It's a prehistoric discovery, and I'm really excited. But I'm also kind of weary because, we've heard of so many stories of the Smithsonian, taking skeletons away and turning them to dust like nothing.
Don't give them to the Smithsonian.
Yeah. Well, we're getting tested through the Discovery Channel, and that, that works both ways. It's like, that's like very honorable. And then two, those are the people that might, give it away.
Yeah, you never know.
But what more can my buddy do with it? He can take it around and maybe on tour. That's what we're hoping to do. I'm going to Infinity Con in Tallahassee, and if we have it back from the Discovery Channel, or we still have it at that point, we're going to put it in a glass case and let everybody see it. Because I'm not trying to hide anything like these people are. We're trying to spread the word, trying to get the knowledge out and have our voices be heard. I'm just like Steve Isdall and just like all you guys at, Bigfoot Society, Central Florida Bigfoot, everybody's getting their word out, man. If you look at it, people are waking up. Like I said, I laugh at the masses, man, because they're the ones who are not, waking up to all this. They're the ones who are saying UFOs don't exist. And then the Pentagon just confirmed it. They're saying all the videos are real that I was already confirming years ago. All right, good job. You guys are years behind, just like a bunch of other cases. So in 2020, we're all here.
Confirming UFOs doesn't like, to me, it's kind of like stupid.
Yeah, well, unidentified flying objects.
I'm not worried about what's above me. I'm worried about what's walking next to me.
Yes,
I want to know what's in the woods when I'm in there. If they know they're there, fucking people should know.
Yep.
They're, I don't give a shit what's up there right now. What's over there?
100%. I want to know what's around me, because sometimes it will knock on your door. There's tons of stories of them slamming trailers and shaking it off the center. And I had something close happen at my mom's house. Sadly, our cat got killed by some wild animal 1 year ago in April. And that kind of threw me for a loop, because clearly I'm all in on this Bigfoot and cryptid crap, and I might have brought some vibes that, may have been unwanted. And my mom woke up to my dog going crazy at like 4 a.m. and then, shut him up at night. And then the next morning she found my cat of like 11 years, lived in Ohio, lived in Indiana, moved down to Florida, good for 2 years. Then the dang pandemic hit. All the animals were going different places. Very well could have been a coyote or a panther. But, of course, my mind went to, was it Dogman and Bigfoot? I don't know what it was. It was a wild animal that took my baby, my friend, and it made me question everything. So I try to be, careful with the vibrations that I put out and just try to be positive, just because negative can, multiply. And in this negative world, dark clouds spread, and it's just a nasty time. So I'm just trying to march forward and try to be an example of who I want to be. I'm trying to tell hometown stories and local legends and local lore, and try to dive into just the unknown and try to hopefully inspire people. When I see people, telling their stories, I'm like, heck yeah, man. Just because if everybody could stand up and, write a couple words down in the morning, everybody could be authors. It's very easy. Anon Design lets you self-publish. Just follow the format, no hate speech. You can put what you want, man. Like, everybody can be whatever they want. And I know that sounds cliche, but in these times that people are being told who they are or what they are, we need to remember, stick by your side and stick right with your family. I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm trying to let the people know that feel that way, that you're not alone, because these times are so trying, even on the strongest minds and the toughest people, because it's just so backward.
But it's not something, well, after a year of it now, we're kind of used to it. But, when nobody was prepared for something like this. Nobody was, expecting something like this. I'm sure there's people out there and say, oh yeah, I knew it was going to happen, whatever, but it's a trying time. And, I started my channel right in the beginning of it. And if you look back at my the fuck is it? The about or whatever on my page, it says the first thing is, yeah, these are trying times, scary times even, but it just felt right, like the right time to start a channel.
Yeah, to be a voice for the people. And clearly you've gained an audience and a community of people that can, let loose. You're a release for these people at the end of the day of knowledge and just excitement and joy. And isn't that the combination of it all? So, yeah, sometimes I try to get philosophical with it. But, yeah, we're still the ones, smoking CBD in the woods, playing in the creek, literally looking for fossils falling on our butts. I went kayaking with my mom yesterday, and she's so nervous because I'm on an inflatable kayak. And I'm telling her I'll smack the gators with the oar. And it's always just so funny. And I guess it's funny till it's not. So always just be, have that serious side and always be careful. I always pack extra water and I try to come prepared with everything, just because the weather will play tricks on you. And I believe these creatures can manipulate the weather in the region, and they use animals as watchers and shit, maybe even have control over the bugs. It's just crazy. They can stop time in a sense. With infrasound, they can shut you down and make you feel paralyzed and put things into your head. It's just unreal. I look at it as things we can learn from them, because we're our humans, they're human hybrids. We're capable of deja vu and making worlds in our dreams, but man, like, what else are they capable of? Stepping one foot into this dimension and one foot in the other. What do they know about the creator? What do they know about the other stories? What do they know about Admiral Byrd? That's what I'm trying to find out. I want to go up to the Carter farm up in Tennessee and talk to Janice Carter, because her father like raised Fox the Sasquatch, and 50 years with Sasquatch taught him a bunch of stuff, and they have a bunch of.
I think there's another one still around. Blackie, I think, is still around.
Well, Blackie was really freaking bad. He was one that kidnapped that girl. Yeah, screw Blackie. I'm not about killing these creatures, but if they already have a history that they can't be trusted, let's wipe them out. I'm sure the Black Ops already wiped them out, man. Just like up in the feral people in Tennessee, and a lot of stuff going on. There's a genocide going on right under our noses, and everybody's worried about what's on the news. It's crazy what else is true out there. The dragon is one of the zodiac animals. They don't put mythical creatures on there. It's a real thing. And I think there's a tie to gold and silver, and then these crystals. Of course, it's all just vibrations. And, silver is a blood purifier. So it makes sense that they would hurt a werewolf, and there's something behind garlic and
well, with silver, that's why they have colloidal silver is supposed to be good for you. But also, they used to put back in the day when you get like bottled milk, glass bottled milk delivered to your house, a long time ago, they would put a silver coin in it. Like they boil the coin and then put silver coin in the bottle because it would kill any germs.
Wow, they need to bring that back. I haven't drank cow milk in like 4 years. We need to just put some silver in it, That's awesome. Man.
Milk wasn't exactly pasteurized and processed properly. It was pretty, straight out of the fucking cow. So yeah, they learned that silver would kind of kill germs and whatnot.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I believe these creatures have a true interest in like treasure. The Minerva monster that Seth Breedlove made a movie about. They had French settler lost gold from the ancient times right in that same area, and they never found it. So I think these Bigfoot know how to use these precious metals for stuff that we can't even process. But of course, everybody's after the gold because it's the best conductor of everything. And I think down in their minds where they're waiting out Armageddon, they're just waiting out to get Earth back. And it's interesting to look back at like the Sumerian tablets. The Watchers come down and they mate with our women for, advanced technology. And then that creates titans and abominations. And, the flood came down and wiped out most of them, but some of them had to survive in their chambers and in upper world. So it's just so crazy to combine all of it with the tree of life and the fountain of youth. And down here in Florida, we can actually go, to the Devil's Den and the Garden of Eden and Ponce de Leon's Fountain of Youth over in St. Augustine, and there's one over here. And oh man, the second most circular lake is right over here too. I think they say it's a sinkhole, but I believe
I think it's a sinkhole.
I believe it's from the flood. If you dump water into the mud, it creates like a crater. And, a sinkhole, definitely more than a meteorite hitting it. But a perfect circle sinkhole, there's something to that too then,
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why people would think that, the circular, the globe is just, it's such a prominent shape in nature. I mean, look at a raindrop. And it's a drop of water that always made me scratch my head going, why didn't people realize that the earth was round back in the day? Because if you took away gravity, a raindrop would be perfectly round.
It's interesting. I think I don't believe in the globe Earth because, there's no measurable curve anywhere. NASA has already been, proven a liar. And you can go, just drive from Florida to me to you, 5 hours. That's so much bend. It's silly. Go on a frozen lake, walk across Lake Erie for 20 miles. There's no bend when there would be like 566 feet of curvature. It's just not there. You can see Chicago across Lake Michigan, 56 miles, where it would be thousands of feet under the curve. Guinness Book of World Records is like 9 miles of curve missing. There's just so much that you have to like literally close your eyes and turn off your ears to even see it. Like I literally have a book here, 100 proofs the Earth is not a globe. Proofs. Like, go back to science class, everybody. Look up proof. It's a proof. The Suez Canal, the one that just got blocked by Evergreen, 100 miles. It doesn't curve. You can walk along it. You can boat it. You can take a hot air balloon. Walk it, man. I hate to be the bearer of, tough news, but we actually matter. This is the center of the universe. There's so much more. There's thousands of continents, not 6, not 7. And people are like, oh, where's the edge? You can't fly with outside the 60th parallel. You will get shot down. You cannot even refuel on gas and get that far. So like whatever stipulations people have, it's already been answered. And people way, way smarter than me, military, have already proven it. And it's just silly at this point that people think we're going to Mars and, oh, we went to the moon, 60 years ago, and we don't have the technology to go back. And when the president called the guys on the moon, it was a direct.
What would be the purpose of going back? To say
What's
we
the
did
purpose
it
of
again?
going back? That's exploration, man. They say there's so many chemicals. I don't believe we ever went to the moon. I'm taking Stanley Kubrick's word for it. He admitted in The Shining that he faked the moon landing. He changes the room number to a certain room number to 247 or 249 because that's like what the moon, how many thousand miles. Like I said, it's so crazy. 100 proofs. If one of those works, it's proof. There's no measurable curve. We're not moving, and that's crazy.
Let me ask you, did you ever sit on a beach and watch a sunrise and it comes up?
Yeah.
Or better yet, here's a better example. You ever watch a sailboat come from the horizon?
Yeah, man. You just have to do your research a little bit because Neil deGrasse Tyson even said you have to go up to 120,000 feet to even see the curve. You seeing a sailboat go over the edge is just the edge of your eye limit. It's just vision. If you had you watch it with your eye, yeah, it goes over the edge. Grab a pair of binoculars. Oh, there it is. How the heck would it have came back over the edge? Like I said, man, it's proofs. It's proofs. All it takes is like 5 minutes of research, and most people haven't done the research because they're so indoctrinated by, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. But I'm here to break you free. I'm the long-haired, goofy guy with the truth. And I know it's hard to swallow, but, Bigfoot's real. The earth is flat. The moon is a plasma. The sun is a lot closer than they say. How could the beams come right down from 94 million light years away? It's silly. It's enclosed in the system. Like the God, if you believe in God, you don't believe in the globe. There is no God on the globe, because where would you go in heaven? It's a thought. But in the flat Earth, there's a heaven above. It's called the Sheol. It's the ancient Hebrew conception of the universe. There's the moon, the sun, the firmament above, and the waters above that. The only way you can access that is your soul. On a globe, what do? You go through a black hole, through Mars, you say peace to Uranus, and then you're in heaven? No, come on, that's silly. This is the actual process described in the Bible, over 200 verses, fixed, immovable, 4 corners. Like it says it right there. Earth took shape like clay pressed under a seal. Come on, that's not a basketball. Come on, I'm a baller too. I know all about baseball, basketball, football. I know all about space. I've watched the space launches. I've went to freaking, Annabelle Island or whatever the freaking place is called, over in Melbourne. It's all a sham. All they do is shoot the rockets over into the Bermuda Triangle. Like I said, sorry, the 28-year-old goofy guy that barely failed out of college, it's wild. Yeah, peace to Uranus. Finger up Uranus, Squatching Cowboy. Yeah, it's goofy. And the firmament holds the stars and the planets, and they're not rocks. You can't go to Mars on a freaking convertible. It's a deity in the sky, man. They are blinking. It's so wild that It's the people in control have done such a good job of wiping everything under the rug that even wise people that believe in Sasquatch and know that Dogman exists still believe in a freaking globe. I got one right here, just as a freaking mockery. It's what a joke. Like they show Antarctica that size, and then you look at a different one, it's a different size. If you look at pictures of Earth, look at Florida. Oh, it's half the Earth. Look at Florida. It's 1/9 the Earth. Like the land doesn't change sizes. Tectonic plates. There are no plates in a freaking basketball. There are plates on a flat Earth. And if you guys like Vikings, there's 9 levels of heaven. There's 9 levels of hell. All the stuff we represent is inside of us. We're looking like at Earth. It's all of us.
How old are you again?
28, but energy's never created nor destroyed. We've always existed.
It's a lot of knowledge for 28.
Yeah, just a lot of reading. I don't even bring age into it. There's 65-year-olds that finally found out the Earth is flat, and now they go to conventions. There are hundreds of thousands of people in these conventions, and like I said, 100 proofs. There's not any books that say 100 proofs the Earth is a globe, because it's not proofs. It's all theory. Gravity is still a theory. How does gravity explain a bubble or a balloon? Like, are they anti-gravity? Are they made with Thanos's magic? No, it's electromagnetic activity, buoyancy, and density. It's not gravity.
Also temperature. It's also temperature and air being.
I've wrote a lot. I just stay up all the time. My hours are like 28 hours because I've just freaking, hallucinating half the time.
On what?
Hawaiian baby wood rose seeds, which are legal. It's fasting when you stay up for four days. A lot of excess water, different drinks like psychedelic water that Murda Beats made. I'm all about different potions, and accessing what the Native Americans did. Didn't the Native Americans say we used to live on the shell of the back of a turtle? Yeah, of course they did. Just like the ancient Egyptians said the firmament lies above us. I'm just digging into the ancient knowledge, and I've gave up on the new stuff like, the Rothschilds.
No, I get that we've been misled in our history and shit, but I don't.
Throw age out of it, throw ego. It's just like I said, you can see Michigan, or you can see Chicago across Lake Michigan. There are thousands of examples of no curvature. Go to Utah, go to the salt flats. That's only like 800 miles of square salt flats. If you go to Bolivia, it's 10,000 square miles. Come on, man. There's no square piece of paper on the ball. Like I said, it's hard, but NASA means to deceive.
I can guarantee there's a curvature over 10,000 square miles or whatever it is. There's a fucking curvature.
No, there isn't, man. Neil deGrasse Tyson said you had to go up to 120,000 feet to even see it. No, they've never seen it. It's all fisheye lens. We're the center of the Earth. They're trying to make us not matter and be just a number, a statistic. No, we matter. God exists. Like I said, the idea of God on a globe, yeah, that's cool, but people are misled. Like literally the Earth describes the Sheol, the Hebrew conception of the universe, a heaven above us. Like we go up to heaven. Once people start telling you up is not up and down is not down, man, that's in trouble. What, on the equator, they're coming in like this and then we're coming in upside down and we do a flip. No, come on. People in Australia are under the same sky as us right now. Like hell is not between us and Australia. That's just silly, No,
the center of the Earth is. Sorry. I'm just saying, dude. You're throwing this out there all matter of factly, and yeah, kind of picked the wrong channel to do that on.
No, I'm just throwing the knowledge out there. Don't take my word for it. Research it. Everything I've said, just go research it. It literally comes from a book that was published in the 1800s. I'm saying it matter of fact because that's how we have to speak matter of fact. That's how you have to get your point across because people have been perpetuating evilness.
No, you're not a knower. You're an assumer. You're a
Dude, I go deep sea fishing. We go 21 miles out. I can still see the buildings on Panama. I know there's no curve in Panama City, at least. Come on, man. I've driven from Lakeland to where I live now, 5 hours, and there is not like 5
I'm
miles.
not, you know what? Well, I wish one of my moderators was here right now, because I would just let her come on and have a nice conversation with you, because she's looking for a good flat earther to just chew on.
I'm looking for someone.
But she's not here right now.
I'm just looking for someone to share knowledge with, you know. Mine's straight from a book. Other people is straight from the news, asking NASA. NASA faked a moon landing, and now they're covering up with stealing billions of dollars. It's classic, man. And I'm not going to stand up for the enemies. And, you know, the enemies, their friends and their fans will take the victim side. It's just knowledge, man. Like, it's just words, you know. Sorry, it's a lot. I know it's a lot. It's the sky falling down, you know. It's planets not existing. I used to love science class, but, you know, there's no curvature.
I know her. It's in chat. It's in the chat, hon. Just threw out. I had to put something in chat. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, man, I just dive into the mysteries of Earth. And, you know, it starts with freaking Bigfoot, then it ends with the moon being a plasma. And, you know, that has already been said by NASA. And I don't believe we can go there. I just believe in heaven, and I believe in the soul. And
what do you mean the moon's a plasma?
They said, you know, the sun and the moon are a plasma. It's an energy. It's a deity. You know, that's why it's transparent sometimes. That's why you can see clouds, and that's why it takes the color of the sky behind it. There's something behind it. It's not a solid rock, you know, and it's not reflecting sun's, you know, light either. Because if you shine a flashlight on a rock, it's not going to shine it off. And if you stand in moonlight, it's actually a couple degrees cooler than not in moonlight. You know, it's all very interesting stuff. And instead of being combative, I'm just trying to, you know,
no, but you're just
stuff. Like, there are thousands of continents, you know. We're limited to 6. I want to know what's beyond the walls. You know, Game of Thrones has some truth.
Where are you coming up with thousands of continents?
There's a bunch of Buddhist maps that show tons of them, and there's other walls and just a bunch of ancient knowledge that, you know, I've collected.
But you don't believe, like, you don't believe like. Well, obviously you don't believe in the globe, but you don't believe that the land masses on that globe are where or what they're, you know, you think there's more of them on that.
Yeah, there's definitely more. Like if you look at the WHO logo, you know, or the United Nations logo, it's literally a flat Earth map. So that's like the sign of Earth. And then there's a 360 bowl around, and that's, you know, Antarctica. And then that goes for a very long time. But then after that, it breaks into another ocean. And just like in King Kong, they show access to Middle Earth, that they enter in America and then they go into China too. You know, it's very interesting. And Middle Earth, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, flat Earth is like a pancake. No, I'm listening to the Vikings, you know, and it's not flat either. It's just not round, but it is like a plate, and that's how they got the round effect. And Walt Disney has went on these operations. You know, Operation Paperclip started it because that brought over the Nazis. But like Operation Deep Freeze, Operation High Jump, they found the firmament. They found the wall, and they bombed it. The military bombed it, and Walt Disney was on the mission with them. That's why the Kingdom logo, it shoots that star above, creating the dome. The first Pixar movie is called The Edges of Earth. I say it because I've read all this, and once you see it, how could you not, you know? And I've just read all this, and I'm just trying to be the messenger, you know, and really show that you know, I'm standing up for the Bible just because people have changed it so much. How's it going?
What's up, brother? How are you? Just gonna nod. You gonna talk at all?
What's up? How's it going? Hey, Cupid.
Let me get my headphones on.
All right, honey, you have fun.
There we go.
David, don't come over.
So I'm so happy that you're here. How you feeling?
Some delay or something.
Oh, where are you? Are you in California? Are you up in Alaska or
Oregon?
Oregon? Okay. So what's on your mind? That's a crazy delay.
It is. I just wanted to chat with this flat earther.
It's all yours.
Earthling. Earthling, that's what we go by.
So, a really quick experiment for you to do: grab a balloon, get some static charge on it, throw some cornflakes on it. They will stick to it. You can spin that thing around, and guess what? They're not going to fall off. Basic science experiment.
What does that prove? Static energy?
It shows how a round object can hold things to it, and that is how.
So you're saying everything is being static energy? That's interesting.
That's part of how it all works.
I feel that. If you
Well,
put
there is
water,
Feel it?
if you put I'm just saying that's interesting. If you put water on a tennis ball and you spin it, it flies off. But it's interesting thinking static energy, which is definitely a possibility. I respect that. It's came out of left field. I didn't know. I thought you were trying to prove gravity with that. But a balloon is not a sphere either, you know. But that doesn't prove anything.
Well, the Earth has poles and it's electric charge. So the static electricity theory isn't far off. You know,
Yeah,
in my
It's
opinion.
not. And
Definitely very
that's
interesting.
education is valuable.
For sure. That's why I think they need to start teaching the truth, you know. What is the whole circumference of Earth? Like 25,000 miles or something. So if you do the curvature ratio at 100 miles, it would be thousands of feet. Then how?
Okay, if you want to get into math,
how do ships?
I would expect that you would have a mathematical degree
Well,
to understand the math.
There's formulas.
So if you're going to try and debate math and physics, you need to have a basic understanding of those two things to try and debate them.
Okay, that's fair. I'm just trying to share knowledge. You're attacking my character.
No, don't abuse the word knowledge. Okay, there is opinion.
Use a curvature.
And as someone who takes education very seriously, this is a problem. And that's why this is a huge problem, because YouTube is getting filled with a lot of confusion. And when no one has a real education
is
to
the Bible
land on.
Confusion, though? You know? Do you believe in God? Are you a Christian?
I do. I had an NDE. I've seen God.
Okay, then, you know, what about fixed and immovable? What about took shape like like clay pressed under a seal? Like, what's your interpretation on that?
My interpretation, there's this huge delay. Either way, so my interpretation, again, has a lot to do with my experience. And so my experience, I can't say is going to be the same as yours or anyone else's that goes to the afterlife, you know. But I've had peyote experiences, and they are not the same.
Is heaven a physical place or a metaphor for you?
Heaven is another dimension.
Okay. And you know, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. So handiwork, I believe, is real work. You know, God created heaven. And, you know, if you look on what the Bible's based on, it's the Sheol, the Hebrew conception of the universe. That's, you know, heaven is above us and our soul rises up. You know, I'm sorry they lied in the church or misinterpreted, but this is what it says. This is what the ancient people actually went through. Hopefully she'll be able to come back.
Sorry about that.
No delay?
No, I accidentally bumped her off somehow.
No, it's okay. I handled cancer. I can handle this.
I know you did.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. No, like when I had my experience, every single question I ever had was answered in that other realm. Everything. I came back for 3 days and I knew everything was easily accessible. And after that, it just disappeared. That knowledge just dissipated. But there is nothing like that bliss. And when they talk about that pure love, it exists. And it is so pure. And it's really hard for me to explain. And it was such a really personal experience. But I would like to get to a point where I can talk about it more, because it is a very enlightening experience, and it could help a lot of people that are struggling with, whether they're what they've been taught in church and what their personal experience is telling them, you know, and that disconnect between the two.
And there's also the fear of
Right.
not knowing. You know,
And can
Yeah,
you guys both admit that you guys are scared? Are part of you is scared that I am right? Because you can watch it back on the playback. It's scary. It's scary stuff. Like if I'm right and the Earth is flat and we never went to the moon, like is that heavy? But I hope you know that I believe in heaven and the soul. That's where this comes from, the ancient stuff. But it is fear.
What you believe doesn't scare me.
No. Yeah, it hasn't. No, the fear. What I was referring to didn't pertain to that.
No, I was just connecting it to it because I have sensed a little fear from you guys. It's heavy stuff. You guys are like reaching for what you can. I feel it. I respect it. But it's come on. I have a thing right here. This is what the Bible describes.
Dude, I went through CCD school. I was born and raised a Catholic. I know that. I could draw that from memory.
But you don't believe it? You believe in the globe?
I don't believe
or
it
what?
because I have seen.
You do believe it?
Me?
No, I don't believe that because I have seen otherwise.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And transcendence? Like in other, in reality or in your dreams, in your visions?
No, dude, I died. Okay, I died. When my husband carried me into the hospital, I only had 2 hemoglobins in my body. I was in and out of this world many, many times. Many times. So this wasn't just a one NDE experience. That's why I said I had multiple NDEs. So that provides a whole different experience.
Definitely.
God took me on a world tour. So, like I said, one of these days I would love to share this experience with the world.
I'd love to hear
Sorry,
it.
I feel like I'm off camera here. I would love to share the experience with the world, but at this point it's so personal. I'm still processing it.
Absolutely.
And it's really heavy.
Definitely. Well, I respect that, and I'm glad you're still with us. And I believe you probably went to heaven or some middle ground, and there's definitely layers of heaven, and that's all explained in what I'm trying to say, But
you're assuming, dude. She knows.
Dude, when you meet the Creator, you know.
She knows.
There's no
you are, dude. She just told you.
There's many ways to contact your Creator. We all have our different.
No, like,
I wonder is the devil messing with me? Come on, man.
It's clear. You know who you're dealing with when you get to that point. It's absolutely clear. So if you want to make assumptions about my experience, that's all on you.
I didn't make any assumptions. I believe you talk to God or a deity, and in my world, gods and deities exist. In NASA's space world, they don't. That's not. If you ask NASA officials, they say that's not real. But you can combine the globe and religion 100%. But I believe in what I just showed, and I believe in heaven. I believe you went to heaven. I believe you contacted deities 100%. And I respect where you're coming from, but I think you went up to heaven and you ascended, but not past any stars or Uranus or anything. It might have been, you might have, but
hey, dude,
I think that's in the firmament.
I'm not one that likes to interrupt, but take a breath, maybe.
I Whenever these facts always get presented, people always use these like side jokes. It's classic, take a breath. Oh, you're assuming you don't know math. Don't say math. Like you only used a converter. You're only
28. When you're 40,
who
you're
cares?
gonna
I'm
have
reading
a
a book
whole
from
different
1885. I don't
perspective.
age is not a thing. I never asked your age. I never asked his age because it's
So
not.
everything. So no, but everything in that book is in that book is true.
It's a proof. It's been proved by colleges, by Stanford, I'm pretty sure. And Stanford's one of the most glorified colleges out there, Like it's a combination of education and religion. And then, people, blindly running to NASA. Like watch the Indian space, exploration, or China going to the moon a couple of years ago. It was all fake. Like it's not the first time they faked it. And Stanley Kubrick's came out and said this stuff. Like there's pictures of him with Werner von Braun, the Nazi.
I'm trying to follow you, and it's like pew 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 pew. I'd be better off following a ping pong.
It all connects.
What's up?
It all connects. Well, guys, I'll leave you with that, and I've had a great time. I never, meant to be rude or anything.
No, dude, no. You expressed your.
I have to speak with. You have to speak like this when you feel this way, because 99% of the world is throwing everything else down your throat. Paramount Pictures, the logo is Mount Hermon. That's where the fallen angels came down. So everything that is right there. Influenced by freaking Lucifer. So like I'm trying to stand against the Lucifer, so no wonder I'm gonna catch flack of for being loud spoken or something, but I'm fine. If people look into research and look into the knowledge, just research this book. It's like freaking $12. You can get it on Amazon. It's really cheap. 100 proofs. The Suez Canal, the Mississippi does not flow upward. It would be impossible. And
I use flat Earth to teach my son critical thinking.
Heck yeah. Hopefully he is critical enough to look at both sides of it and then make his own, judgment. That's all I can ask. Like, and anything else is forcing it on people. And that's buffoonery. If you call yourself a Christian, then you have to believe in God and heaven. Like, and if not, you could believe in Uranus and the Milky Way and the Northern Lights and shooting stars and all that. And Aladdin, and all that exists under the firmament. But our story is so much more, it's not 6 continents, it's 1,000. It's there's just so much to it, man. And it starts with Bigfoot, and that's keep your eye out on the Discovery Channel next month for the giant. Man. But of course, modern science doesn't say giants exist either. But we know that skeletons have been excavated. Look up giants of ancient America on Instagram. 800 newspaper articles describing of giants excavations. It's incredible. Just check it out. But until then, guys, peace out. Next time you're in the Panhandle, brother, come to the Garden of Eden, with or without me. But it's the most strenuous hike in Florida.
Check it out.
Enjoy it, brother. I enjoy it. Hey, have a good one.
Thank you very much. Check out
a replica of the original Patty footprint, which that was based on, a massacre. A lot went down. And even
we're not going to talk about that now.
I know. But isn't it funny that all the touchy subjects are?
No, I know. I get it.
MK Davis, man. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Mogal Monster, thank you. There are
Peace
people.
Out.
There are people in the Grand Canyon. There are civilizations under our feet. There is.
Go look for him.
Wow.
Well, thanks for coming on, dude. Yeah, that was
sorry, Moggs.
Very enthusiastic. Didn't mean to just cut him off like that. Okay, I did. How are you, hon? It's great to see you.
How are you?
It took that to get you on here.
Yeah, I think
awesome.
my brain was splitting.
I was just like enthralled. I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. I was trying to look at chat, but every time I did, I wanted to crack up laughing because people were goofing on it. And no, I appreciate, him coming on and expressing himself. Just holy shit.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. No, and plus I promised I would come on your show.
No,
But
I'm glad you're here. So I don't know. I don't think a lot of people know much about you. You
mm-mm.
know, um, I'm curious to actually know if anybody in chat knows what your name stands for. I know what it stands for.
Well,
Um,
it's a title that's earned, and there's a race in Alaska. It's a 2,000-mile race. Now it's over 2,000 miles in less than a week, and we break trail for the Iditarod. So we have snow machines. They're not dogs. That's why the name Iron Dog. And the only time you actually get a garage and pneumatic tools is halfway point in Nome. And so each year the race goes off in the middle of February, which is the coldest part, and you come across the winter storm. So it breaks the weekend warriors from the Iron Doggers. And so it is a really intense snow machine race. So everything you do, you need to know how to work on your sled, because you and your partner both have snow machines. You both have to carry your gear. You have to have, at that point it was compass and GP, we didn't have GPSs at that point, So you really had to know navigation. You had to know everything about terrain and, of course, how to handle your snow machine. So it was an awesome, awesome, awesome race. But each year, half the field doesn't finish. That's how brutal the race is.
what's the average time for 2,000 miles? Like how long?
Now they're doing it in like 30 hours,
Oh,
36
wow.
hours. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They're moving, flat out moving.
I just think that's so cool.
Thank you. Yeah. Missy and I are still the only women's team to have finished it. A lot of time people get confused with the Iditarod and they're like, well, didn't Susan Butcher and Libby Riddles? And it's like a different race.
You commented earlier that you beat cancer.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I have blood cancer. It's AML. So it's in my blood. So it's not 100% gone. It's one of
Okay.
those cancers that doesn't fully go away. So sadly, they say, it's not if it's going to come back, it's when. So the first 5 years, most patients, it's like 80% that it relapses. So they won't consider me in remission until I've passed that 5-year mark. And so I have some more blood work to do in June because my platelets were off. So I kind of stuck here until I get the okay to go back.
Okay. Well,
That's kind of
prayers.
why I'm between Alaska and Oregon.
I thought it had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Alaska
yeah.
doesn't have good leukemia cancer center treatments. They're getting better.
Okay. Yeah. My nephew is currently battling cancer. Yeah, he's putting up a good fight. He's a tough kid. So
Good.
Um,
Good
what
on
else?
him. I could tell people it's not a competition.
No.
Cancer is brutal. I don't care what form it comes in.
Yeah, my mom passed of cancer in '93. I think all her brothers. It's brutal. It's just a brutal disease. Non-discriminatory. Just Anyway, yeah. But I'm really, my prayers are with you.
Thank you.
You're a tough woman. You've been through a lot, and just in life alone. Not just what you've been dealing with here. It's just fascinating.
Thanks. Yeah, that's why I'm a bit crazy.
I know
life is way
you're a
too damn
nut in your
short.
videos. Yeah, you
Thanks.
are, and it's awesome.
I was so serious. Like, I'm considered the least funny in my families.
Really?
the mellow one.
But it's cool that you go that far out of the way, to have a good time and put out a good time, for your family and friends that watch, and you definitely make people laugh, because
Thank you.
it's basically zany,
Thank you. Yeah.
you know.
While I was laying in that bed, you have a lot that goes through your head when you're dealing with that, and the reality that I wasn't in many of the pictures, none of the videos, because I was the one that was always taking them,
Hmm.
and so my dad and others were like, you should really do something about this, now that we've been given this opportunity, which it's a blessing I'm here, like my doctors all say I'm a walking, talking miracle, pretty much, 2 hemoglobins. That's not much.
No, well, just keep on fighting,
Thank you.
that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a
um,
lot that I didn't realize how many people commit suicide with chronic pain and all of that. And so that is one of my biggest pushes is to try and keep people motivated that tomorrow is another day.
yeah,
And as horrible as this day or this moment may be, there'll be another one that will make you smile. And it's just getting through
true.
that really tough moment, that it's a struggle, and I really understand it now. I didn't before. I really couldn't understand why anyone would want to commit suicide, and now I understand, and I have a lot of sympathy and empathy for them.
Well, it's tough. I mean, I've and I'll admit this. I don't care. I don't hide anything. But there was a point in my life where I had a gun under my chin. Would never pull the trigger, but it sat there. And I was like, I couldn't do that to everybody. But it happens.
It's a thought.
Yeah, and I was in the middle of the woods in northern New Hampshire with my uncle. We were hunting, or he was hunting. I was just tagging along, and he had to go take a piss or whatever. And he said, "Here, hold the gun."
Mm.
I did, but I held it under my chin. But it passed, and I walked out of there, and I was like, "You're an idiot."
It's a heavy
This,
moment though, huh?
yeah, it makes you think.
It does.
But here we are.
I think a lot more people have those moments than they'd rather admit.
Oh, of course. Or the thought, or
Right.
just it may not go as far as to put a gun under your chin, but the opportunity was there, and
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, my dad lost one of his really, really good dear friends because he had a terminal cancer and he didn't want to go through it. And so he decided to end his own life that way. And it's difficult. It is difficult for those that are left behind because they're left with a lot of questions and what
sure,
ifs and what could I or should I have things. And that's,
yeah, it's tough.
yeah,
Um,
let's
but
talk about
anyway,
something good.
yeah. So, what's your fascination? Why the
Oh my
fascination with
Lord.
Bigfoot?
I,
How
I
did you
am
get on these channels?
This whole thing is really crazy to me. So I grew up knowing Bigfoot was real. It was knowledge. It was common knowledge. So I don't know. I don't know, somewhere in my late teens, 20s, Bigfoot just out of my brain. So every experience, every encounter I had, never considered Bigfoot. Never. Never. Even though it's obvious. And I was sitting in the hospital having chemo, and then heard Les on an interview, and he said, his experience in Alaska, and I went, "What?" And it just triggered a whole flood of memories, and I was like, "Dad, did you have the same thing?" And so we started talking, and then I immediately started doing research, and I came across the Sierra Sounds, and I dropped my phone and it broke. Like, I dropped my phone. It freaked me out so bad because I've heard those sounds so many times. And the disconnect is what freaks me out now.
Well, yeah. I'm like, well, what did you think they were at the time?
I don't know. I don't know. And that is the weird thing. I've always been able to say, oh, either coyotes or bears or anything else. But even seeing it, my friends and I saw it. Like, it was standing there, and I don't know if I could do this, but it had its arm up. I can't do this. Had its arm up, but when it pulled it down and its ankles went ankle to ankle, no other animal does that. And it was like, and it was so massive, and you could see the hair it was obviously what it was, but again, complete disconnect. Complete. So I don't know. I've talked to Carrie about this too. I think it is just weird. I find that more fascinating than anything. That never once did it ever cross my mind. Even when that thing was circling my tent, and it was definitely bipedal. Tracks. I've seen the tracks. Nothing. My race partner's telling me it's wild man. Who's this wild man that everybody knows about that I don't? That it just never connected, and I find that just odd.
At what point? When did it finally?
Not until the hospital. Like I said, not until I was sitting in the hospital, and it all just came.
Okay.
And it was like, was that all? What? And so when you start going back through your memories and you start replaying everything, you start questioning everything, and like, oh my Lord, are you really that oblivious?
Talk about an aha moment or an
Yeah, and
epiphany.
I think since I'm more concerned with bears than anything, that's usually what's top of my head. I think
Speaking of Iron Dogger, what do you do if you come across an angry bear? Mr. Lee 3PO wants to know.
Well, I have a video on that, actually. I've been charged.
Right on.
There's, depending on the bear. Now, I don't know what you've been told about bears, but black bears are really dangerous. So those ones, you want to make yourself big, you want to be loud, you want to be obnoxious, and get rid of them. A brown bear is very, very dangerous. That you've got to pay attention to all the signs and really be on your guard, because there's a lot of different things you want to do. You don't want to just drop to the ground and collapse immediately, but at the same time, you don't want to make it charge you either, and you don't want to become a dinner. So there's,
No.
it's each time I've encountered a brown bear has been different. So I can't say for certain do this, because each time I've had to react differently.
Yeah, I've only had experiences with black bear, but they weren't. It was in New Jersey. They would get in your garbage, and it wasn't. I don't know. You just kind of got used to them. I wouldn't say they were domesticated or anything, but it wasn't a big deal. The first time I ran into a bear was in the woods. Talk about a buzzkill. You're walking in, and here comes this cub, and then you're like, oh shit. And then here's a mother coming up behind it, and I'm just like, there's enough distance where I could just kind of like duck off to the side, but I was like, that initial, yeah.
Yeah, I just did a video on my Talkeetna mother and two sows incident that I had went through. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. But yeah, I think, all the different Bigfoot experiences, like that distinct scream, that scream, there's nothing with that lung capacity that really fits the bill. And when I heard it across the the Big Sioux, that's a big river. And it's hard to hear things alongside a river normally, but it was clear as a bell, and I felt it in my chest, and
Yeah.
it shook every nerve in your body. And like Steve from How to Hunt talks about, the prickle hair factor, and it was all present. All of those signs were present. I don't know, I just was assuming it was drunk Russians or natives, and again, yeah,
And
I thought some
there's
woman
no
was
other
being killed.
animals that make that would have that much volume in their calls. I mean, an elk can get loud, but it's different. You
Yeah,
know, it's a bugle. It's not
right.
a you know. Um, I don't even know. Do moose make noises?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they make all sorts of weird noises. I have a video like last year of a moose across the lake, and it sounds like a bear. And it almost sounds like you would think, like, "Ooh," you kind of question, like, what is that out there? But it was definitely a moose.
The same place that I was hunting in New Hampshire, there were moose up there, and to see the tracks in the snow, I was just like, one, their feet are huge, but the distance between, and you're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
I was used to just whitetail deer, and bear, and in New Jersey, whatever was there, but not moose.
Yeah.
And I'm walking through only carrying a knife,
Yeah, and you're looking at that thing going, eh.
Yeah, feeling a little inadequate.
One night I was doing Roundica at the cabin, and I'm all alone out there, right? And it's late. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good. So I'm like, okay, I want to find a Bigfoot. Let's see a Bigfoot. And it dropped a spot right in front of the cabin. Like right in front of the cabin. And I thought, ooh, I don't know if I really want to see one now. And I just sat in there and did not want to go to that window. I did not. I don't know why I even thought that this was going to be funny. Anyhow, so I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to go to the window. So all night I just was like, oh, you're a dummy. You're so ridiculous. So the next morning I wake up and I look out there, and there are tracks across the lake. Now it snowed. There's clear tracks across the lake, and I'm like, no, 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 no. So of course, the curiosity of me gets the best of me, and so I go tracking down there, which I shouldn't do with my back. I really shouldn't have done it. So I get down there, and of course, it's moose tracks. But it's that moment I was like,
Well, because what else would have that much, of a gait or stride, whatever they call it, step.
yeah, like when my race partner and I came across the tracks on the Iron Dog Trail. They were clear. Like you could see the footprints. That's why I thought a trapper was hypothermic and running around naked. And when he went into the woods, and I jumped off my sled, snow machine. I jumped off my sled and I went in over waist deep. And this thing had managed to post hole through that deep, deep snow. And that's where my brain was like he's got to be tall, like a moose
Yeah,
tall.
yeah.
Because
Those
when
are
you walk
long
through the
legs.
snow, you leave a trench.
Trail. Yeah.
Deep post hole through it.
Wow.
My partner was like, I'm
See
out.
ya. Peace. Good luck with
Yeah.
that, by the way.
Yeah, I need to ask her about that. Yeah. It's like my friend Stephanie, the one that when we saw it on the path, I keep asking her still to this day, what was that? She's like, you know what it was.
Just checking. So, guys, if anybody in chat has questions, please put them in caps, and we'll get them answered, hopefully.
Hopefully. You have questions? I have answers. We'll see if they match.
Just seeing who else is here. I'm sure there's 83 watching. Right on.
I'm in my son's room. Look at this.
Nice.
Wow.
Where in Alaska are you?
I'm about an hour outside of Wasilla in what we call Point McKenzie.
Hmm.
Sarah Palin made Wasilla famous, but
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Still geographically,
that's a
I'm
whole other
lost.
subject.
I always wanted to get to Alaska. My dad's been there. He spent some time up on the Kenai Peninsula.
As a
But
fisherman, you should come fish the salmon.
yeah,
You can fish all 5 species of salmon in one day in Alaska.
the Grand Slam, huh?
Yeah.
Damn. I'll get up there eventually.
Yeah.
I
The beautiful thing
kind of went
about
the
Alaska,
wrong way. I'm down in Florida now. Oops.
the opposite end. Yeah.
But the fishing down here is pretty damn good too. So I just got to get out there and do it.
Yeah.
I've been doing a little freshwater fishing locally, and just I have to get some gear together before I go out and start saltwater fishing.
I love fly fishing.
I never got into it. I tried it on the Colorado River.
It's all in the wrist.
Yeah. Just I wasn't. I don't know. The problem is I didn't have the proper gear and equipment. My dad had brought it along on this trip for whatever reason. This rod. But I am the type of person that would get addicted to it.
Yeah.
I'd be
I
tying my own flies, and
Yeah.
I would go overboard with it.
Yeah, my dad taught my son how to tie flies and everything. It's pretty awesome.
Right on. What? Lockbeard wants to know why did you run that poor guy off?
He was just too sexy.
Damn. Well, thank you for getting rid of the sexier guy. Patrick Vaughn, how's it going? Good to see you. Hi, Meredith. Uncle Bones, what's happening?
No, he was entertaining. He really was. I look forward to his show.
I was mesmerized and just didn't know where I would be able to interject.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, take a breath. Maybe we could say something.
I thought he was going to take off, flapping.
He was awesome, though. I really liked him.
Very enthusiastic.
Pretty interesting.
Just theories I don't normally address.
Yeah. I thought I was an animated talker.
Oh, slow down. Calm down. Don't get so excited. Jesus.
Settle down over there, eh?
Holy shit. Take a Prozac. Mr. Lee 3PO says, in fact, I think he would make a great co-host. Who would?
I concur.
Who would make a good co-host?
Your new buddy.
Oh yeah. Were you watching chat? Did you see?
No, I can't see chat.
I got to go back and kind of like delete some of that. It was just to be funny, but
no, you know what?
It was entertaining. I hope you guys had a good time.
That's good. Yeah,
I'd have him back. Yeah,
you should. You definitely should.
I didn't know what to expect. It was just like
right now that you do, you can prepare.
Somebody lights a fuse and you don't actually want the dynamite to blow up. So you're like, trying to blow out the fuse. And I was like, oh, shit, let it burn. That was
a big old hose and just hose everyone off.
Oh, man. That was pretty funny, though. Thanks.
Well, I promised I would come on your show first. And so I was like, I need to get this done. So
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I wanted to, people to hear, about you from you. Um,
I think there's a
yeah,
lot of curiosity, because I'm such a spaz.
no, you're funny as hell, and the videos, guys. If you haven't checked her channel out, go check out Iron Dog or some of her videos. She's just goofy, and now you kind of have an idea why, you know.
Like, yeah, my friends call me wacky for a reason.
Yeah, and live like you were dying,
Yep.
and
And that's exactly what
that's
I'm doing.
yeah.
Yep.
And God bless you,
Thank you. Thanks. I
So,
appreciate it.
what's next on your agenda as far as you gonna put out more stuff? You gonna expand? You've got a very good presence on camera.
Oh, thank
So
you.
no, yeah, you do. You would make a
Yeah.
good host on a channel.
I hope to get out and explore a lot more because my place is out in the wilderness. That's where
Absolutely.
I connect and I feel better. And so we try and get me out as much as possible. It's a little bit more difficult with all my mobility issues, but
Sure.
it's so worth it. And so when I'm out there, I tend to go full.
Throttle.
Yeah, like everyone says, it's like I'm, taking the leash off the dog, and I'm, come on, just out of there.
Tail wagging the whole way.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
You're gonna rein me back in. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what the other dog's for. Go get
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. It's like a rinse and repeat thing. It's like once I'm up and out, I don't stop until I collapse.
Um, Uncle Bone says, Mogan Monster, please tell Iron Dogger I said hello. I follow her and I came here late.
Oh, I love Uncle Bones. Thank you. Hi, buddy. He makes me smile. Everyone makes me smile. That's one thing. I like the personal connection with people. And I don't know, this Bigfoot community is just so awesome. I just think everybody in it is just truly genuine. And I love that about people. I just love genuine people. And I don't know, they're just so open armed and I love it. I really love everybody in it.
And I agree with that. 100%. There are. I mean, it's a generous group. It's a loving bunch. It's a family. To me, it's like family.
Yeah.
I've kind of been involved in I started in chats and it was like family then. So it just seemed natural to progress and okay, let's meet our family, and
Yeah.
so I started a channel and it's slowly coming together. It's everybody is they're just finally getting it. Like the other day, Tuesday, it was a good example. I had a bunch of people on, like different from all over, and it was just like, thank you.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere. And I wanted to meet you for the longest time and have you on, and thank you so much for coming. Definitely.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks
I
for
just use
the
my
rescue.
phone all the time, so I don't have earbuds for it or anything. So I'm like, I can't do it on my phone. And then finally, I'm like, forget it. I'm going full send, y'all. Full send.
You're on a mission.
No, I went down that flat Earth route, and the evidence that they put forth is quite compelling. But like I said, I used it to teach my son critical thinking, so it's a little near and dear to my heart.
Well, it's good that you had that perspective, because I just sit there and go, I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Right.
I'll try to just argue that it's round. So
Yeah, no, and I want my son as prepared as possible for the world, because all of us have experienced getting out of high school and going out on our own and just being like, whoa.
Yeah. What the hell is this? You know?
Yeah.
Your channels, is it just Iron Dogger or what's your channel?
Oh, yeah, it's just Iron Dogger.
Okay. Somebody asked in chat, so I just wanted
Yeah.
to.
It's just Iron Dogger. I come to anything like a dog.
Great guest, both sides of the spectrum.
Thanks, Livewire. Miss his shows.
Mogs, I just love how the way things flow in your show. Yeah, it's kind of weird like that. It's called dumb luck.
It's the work. I like it. Like it's just come and go as you please kind of thing. I think it's a great idea.
Well, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a story. Everybody, what keeps people from doing it is nerves. Don't think of it as you're in front of. I mean, look, there's 83 people. Big deal. If there was 1,583 people, big deal. We're talking to each other. These people are just eavesdropping. No. But that's the way, people should feel comfortable when they come on. And I think people do. It's still unnerving. Like, for instance, Long Island Bigfoot. Mike was just on with Carrie. Mike has his own show, but you could see he was nervous when he got on with Carrie. It was just like, oh, look at him.
Yeah.
It was, and I love Mike. Mike's a great guy.
I do too.
But to see him get that little nervousness about him, I was like, oh, how cute. I mean, I get nervous occasionally, if it's healthy, if I'm not arrogant enough to, think that I'm that good, I don't have to get nervous. Bullshit. My nerves hit me like in the middle of the day when I'm like, oh shit, I have a show tonight. That sudden little realization.
Yeah. Yeah, like I like how I did this because I wasn't like worried about, there was no hype up to the show. I just was like, oh, I need to get on and talk to this dude.
But that's the way to do it.
Yeah, there wasn't, like now that I'm set up to do Carrie I'm actually like, oh, I'm nervous.
You're gonna go on Carrie's show?
Yeah.
When?
Next Friday.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was like, I have to get on Moggs.
Well, it's no different than what you're doing here. It's just a different face.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know. I like it. I'm so goofy. I don't.
It's fun. It's absolutely fun. You can say it's goofy, but it is. But it's awesome.
Yeah. See, I like being relaxed and just chilled back, and I'm not worried about what they're gonna say or anything because he's got such a great channel, and both him and Daniela are awesome. So
absolutely, and Lockbeard and Cashew quit fighting.
What's that?
I said Lockbeard and Cashew quit fighting.
Hey, you two, knock it off. Knock it off.
It's funny. I never mind. I don't, I give people breaks and just, let them keep coming back. I don't even think I have anybody banned from my channel. Yeah. I'm sure some moderators have like kicked people off in the past, and I clean that out and people can start over. It's not like I don't have a list of people who can't come on my. Anybody can come on. I don't care if you screwed up in the past, and I ain't gonna remember it.
Yeah, we all make mistakes.
Trolls, stay the fuck away. But
yeah, I've been pretty savage to trolls. That was one of my marks I've made on Facebook, was abusing trolls endlessly. Like, people would send me links to trash people because
that's great.
Trolls are just
yeah, no, they deserve their comeuppance, or whatever you want to call it.
That's right.
That's great.
Yeah.
Um, Uncle Bone says, "Tell us about it on your channel at Iron Dogger. I almost missed you here."
Aw, Uncle Bones, you're so sweet.
I think he's recruiting for your channel.
Yeah, my channel is just basically trying to encourage people not to give up. That was my main goal, was to give people a platform so they can see someone who has so many hurdles to overcome that still finds the joy in life, and that's hard some days. And and my heart just goes out to so many who are hurting and want to give up, because I understand that. I do understand it now. I couldn't before. And so that's pretty much what I started it for. And then, I started looking in the woods for Bigfoot, and then it's all history then.
Yeah, it's funny how this topic, this subject can kind of overwhelm you. It's I heard a few stories, then I heard a few thousand stories, and just got convinced. I was like, oh, there's something to this.
Yeah.
Listening to Sasquatch Chronicles and others, I was like, all these people can't be lying.
No.
So I got hooked, and just the thought of it. It's a very romantic thing, chasing after a myth, but I to me, it's not a myth. I'm just, it's just a matter of time before, I'm proven. Like, it's shown to me. I see it. I witness it. Now I know. Next. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
that.
Loch Ness, though. I don't want to see that one.
Yeah, some of the other stuff I'm not up to snuff with, but there's, like, with Esau in the Bible, and and especially with what I've heard with ceremonies, where, like, in some of the native ceremonies, where a lot of them would know how to fly. And that is just bizarre to us, like, there must be talking, hypothetically. No, they're not flying, but no, they really, there's capabilities that we've lost, I think, and certain things as humanity that we are no longer in touch with energetically. I am completely into quantum physics. So as far as energy works, and all of that vibration. And I just think there's so much more to this puzzle that we haven't really even tapped into yet, and I think we're starting to crack into those now that, whether it's alien or blood, that now that those two groups are starting to come together and they're allowing the data to speak. Because in my background, that, I have a extensive IT background. So I handled massive databases. I've had to deal with data. Analyzing data is something I've always done, and it just comes naturally to me. So allowing the data to speak is really important, especially in this environment. And now that it is, and more is coming out, and people are feeling a lot more comfortable talking about their experiences, we're going to open up a whole different perspective, I think, and we're going to start learning a lot more that, these are the ancient ones that have, techniques and stuff that we have lost over time.
And even just in this lifetime, my lifetime, I felt that I forgot something from when I was a kid. Like, I forgot something.
Right.
I knew something more when I was younger. There was something there's something missing. I don't know if it's innocence. I don't know what to call it, but it seems like I knew something else, a little more, a little, yeah. And somewhere it went away.
Yeah, when I was little, I was going to share this story on one of my memory lanes, but I'll share it here for you guys. But when I was a little girl in Alaska, I was very in tune with nature, and I was getting ready for CCD. and I remember hearing the forest calling me, and I ran out the door. I didn't tell anybody where I was going, and I just booked. They always knew where I was. I was in the woods. So I went to the woods, and out in the woods there was these loggers, and they were cutting the trees because they were making a path, and it freaked me out. I mean, it was like I could feel the trees. This sounds crazy, but whatever. I don't even care what people think of me. So I was like just heartbroken, and I thought, oh my gosh. So I started yelling at the guys, "You're killing the trees. Why are you killing the trees? Can't you hear them crying?" And they are standing there, and they stop, and they're looking at this little girl just freaking out. And I start running around gathering all these little plants that the trees were telling me to get, and I was making salves and spreading it on their little wounds. And those guys were like, I can't, they left. Like, they're like, "We're done. I can't do this. I can't do this." And they left. And that project was on hold for so long. And I think it was definitely because I tweaked those poor guys out. And they were like, "Oh man, we just broke that little girl."
Okay, so how did it help the trees? I mean, did the salve you made, did it help? The salve, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. It started growing extra little tree buds out of it and
Shoots?
stuff. Yeah. And so
That's awesome.
they actually changed the way they did that path, and they left, like, they kept the trails really small, and they didn't like clear cut all the areas. It was really
Well, they
interesting.
didn't want to feel your wrath again, you know. But that's amazing.
Yeah. So
That little act, that or rebellion or whatever. I mean, just because, you know, you felt for the trees, or you felt the trees, you know,
yeah.
it changed the path.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing that someone so young can make such an impact.
Yeah. So, and like I said, like, every person, no matter big or small, you can make a huge impact that lasts a lifetime. You know. I just try and encourage people. I think that is really what's missing a lot in the world, is just that connection, that encouragement, that keeping, keeping keeping connected with one another. Like one time I was same patch of woods, getting ready for CCD again, and I was like, "Oh," I could hear them calling me, and I get out there, and there was a mother and a moose and her little baby, and they were white. They were the spirit moose.
Oh wow.
And I have a picture of it in my hallway, and they are very rare to come across, and so I feel really connected to nature. I always have. And so, that's why I just really love being out in it.
Yeah, I remember when the white buffalo was born. That was a pretty big event, you know. If
Yeah.
you were at all involved, or knew anything about the Native American
Yep.
tradition, that was really, you know, a major event.
It is. Yeah, that's where this ring is. Corn Mother ring from
Oh,
the
right
Hopi.
on.
Yeah.
That's
I have a
amazing.
Hopi medicine man that I am very, very connected to. And so I
That's
fully believe in all of that, you know. I believe in the medical field, but I also believe in, what the power of our spirit and our soul, and what that can do. It all comes together.
as far as healing goes,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah. Do whatever you can, like there's a lot of people that are like, "Oh, I can't do, I don't want to go to a doctor, or I don't want to, I don't trust a healer, a natural healer." It goes both ways, and I think the more that we just open up and accept this knowledge that exists on both ends of the spectrum,
And I
because
think
there
a lot of it has to do with faith, and, you
mhm,
know, truly believing, you know, because you can, you know, the Bible says if you have enough faith, you know, the amount of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain, you
right.
know. So if you ever seen a mustard seed, it's not that big.
Yeah. I used to
So
carry one in my little pouch
do you have a
as a
medicine bag?
reminder. No.
You didn't have a medicine bag. It was a pouch. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what.
it's a
Yeah.
medicine bag, but
Okay.
yeah, I used to
Yeah.
carry it in there with my
That's awesome.
cornmeal and tobacco, because
That's awesome.
I love making offerings, and I'm usually out in nature a lot, and so I think there is that respect and that communication that we've lost, and I really try and keep that up when I'm out there, and I try
I
and
used to I used to make offerings. I used to do a lot of tobacco offerings a long time ago, and I don't know why I got away from it. I don't. But it's like saying a prayer, and it's a routine for me now. Is to say a prayer before I go on, or smudge, or.
this is I told you I'm the least funny in my family. This is that bear paw. That's how big it is.
That's
Yes, and it's holding my my.
that's funny.
That's pretty funny. These guys, my
Excuse
guys,
me.
they're funny.
So do you do a lot of, or did you do a lot of fishing?
I did growing up, but I got burned out. Like I said, I got into fly fishing, and I like doing fly fishing because that was something you had to be alone and away from people, because you're whipping that thing around. So I did like doing that. But my husband and my son are commercial fishermen in Alaska.
Oh, well, shit.
Yeah. So we've got a big commercial boat up there and all of that. So,
What kind of fishing?
salmon.
Okay. Are they netting or
Yeah. Gill net.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they're the highliners. So it's pretty
Very
brutal.
cool.
So we've got my husband, my son, my godson, and my other nephews are on the boat. So it's kind of stressful when they go out there because it's like if
Because that's
anything
a
goes
family.
wrong, I lose a
Yeah.
good chunk of my family, and so it's a family endeavor too.
That's a rough. That's a brutal job, and it's funny because I always said, if growing up on the Jersey Shore, I always said, if I moved away from there, I went to North Jersey when I was 13, but I always said if I had stayed there, I probably would have I would have probably worked on a fishing boat for you know that's
Great
how I would
job.
have, yeah, because I love the fishing boats down there, the party boats or the charters or I was in a marina from the time, I was like, knee high to a grasshopper. I was, always around boats.
Yeah, my
So
son.
I always figured, and now that I'm in Florida, I don't rule it out. I mean, even at 53, I could see myself, doing
You're never too young.
weekends, doing, being a mate on a boat. You
Yeah,
never know.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, my son's been fishing since he was 9 out there. So
That's
he
awesome.
went out as a boy, and it was like he came back a man. I said, "Where'd my little boy go?" And he came back.
Still me, Mom. I just know how to fish. Relax.
Yeah, you're like Paul now. All right.
Wow. One quick. Anybody else have questions? I might have missed some. Put them in caps, and because we're gonna bounce off here in a minute. But yeah, you got to come back.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I like hanging out with you.
Yeah, I'm thrilled that you finally decided to pop on and rescue me and
Yeah,
everybody else.
I'm glad I just got fired up enough to do it.
And that's all it took was
We'll have to thank Bigfoot and Anon for that.
it just needed a good flat Earth argument. Oh, the hell with this! I'm going on. I can't listen to this crap any longer. Yeah.
You want to get a rise out of me? Start talking flat Earth.
But it helped my child. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun.
Mr. Lee 3PO says, Mose, can we get the alcoholic back on?
Yeah.
Which one? No, I'm
I think
kidding.
we need Mr. Lee to come on.
He's a pussy. He knows I'm kidding, and I'll say it every time. No, it's just funny to me.
I love good banter. Like, my friends and I are ruthless with each other. My family are just absolutely brutal.
I was on this expedition recently. Yeah, you might have heard of it. But you know what? I had never met a group of people who were so on the same page as far as sense of humor goes and wit. You know, you talk about banter and going back. We just were like bouncing things off of each other left and right constantly all night. And we laughed our asses off. It was just amazing.
I love that. That to me is that's
Connect
good
with that
stuff.
many people on that level. That was cool.
That's good stuff.
Daily Dan blog. Tell Iron
Oh,
Dogger
my
that
man.
Daily Dan says, "Hey, and I'm glad I got to see your first interview." And I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that I was your choice for first interview. But yeah, you did promise me a long time ago. So
Yes,
you
I
kept
did.
to it. You kept to it. So kudos to you.
Thank you. I try to keep my promises and my word. That's a big deal for Italians. Our word is everything.
I don't know. Italians in Alaska. It just doesn't sound right.
Yeah, you should have seen my mom trying to make we call it gravy. There's that argument
Yeah,
of
I
Italians,
know.
gravy or sauce. But my mom trying to make the gravy up there was entertaining. She ended up having to get a greenhouse and get her own tomatoes and stuff.
Where was she originally from? East Coast?
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, New York. So her parents came over from Italy. So she's 100%
Oh,
full-blooded
so
Italian.
she was probably like Brooklyn or
Big
what is
city
five
girl.
boroughs? Yeah. Okay.
She was not happy to go to Alaska. I'm telling you, my mom and my dad were like two opposite pieces. But oh my gosh,
It's one of those.
funny.
It's one of those. Wait, we're going where?
And
Wait,
guess
what did
what?
you just say?
She's still there, and my dad's not. That's so funny.
Wow. Wit, what's up, man? Yes, I did. They were still there. As long as a car comes down the road, they'll still be there. No, it's just the theory I have that the lights that we saw up there are headlights. I went up there. I went back up there yesterday, Lynn and I wanted to get to a certain point on a tree line or beyond a tree line to film, but it was too overgrown. And even if I got on the other side, it was still too overgrown. And then when I couldn't get them on camera, I did a little bit if I like held up my tripod and stuff, but I want to film them on a tripod where there's no shakiness. I have to eliminate that. So I'll figure out. I don't care if I have to build a tripod, just so it's bigger.
There you go. Some determination and will.
Yeah. Well, necessity is the mother of invention. So let's see what I come up with.
That's right.
I don't care if it's just a stick, one boom or whatever, but something tall.
Yeah. That's like one of those things. Like, I'd like my channel to stay kind of small so I can, keep that connection with people. But it would be fun to be able to go live out in the field and be like, "Oh, let's go look at that area or that area."
Yeah, that was. I was surprised that I got the signal. Well, Mark had gone live from somewhere, and I realized that we were getting a signal in camp. So when we went down here, I was like, well, let's see. And sure enough, I had signal. So I winged it. I was like, well, screw it. We're going live.
That was awesome. That was so awesome. It was like
fun. It was
gripping like right at the seat of your pants, watching it going.
And that's where I was yesterday. So yeah, where the
Awesome.
same exact place I went live from.
Cool. My sister's actually moving to Florida. Like, she is on her way, getting her RV all packed up and ready to roll. So,
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far so good. It's we were up where we were up yesterday. Those mosquitoes were brutal. Holy shit. I thought I was levitating. No, it was them.
Get a mosquito magnet. I swear by those things. I did a whole slew of videos on those last summer because they were so bad at the cabin. Oh, I mean, like you would swat and your hand would just, it was disturbing. They were so thick. And I got that mosquito magnet, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything.
Yeah,
but
we're
oh
not
my
endorsing
goodness,
anything, but
it works. It
it's not an
really works.
advertisement, it's a suggestion. Where do you pick them up? Do you have to,
They're
is that
at
their
all
name
sorts.
brand? Is that Mosquito Magnet?
That's the name brand, Mosquito
Okay,
Magnet.
right on.
Yeah, so like Home Depot and Lowe's, all those places have them. They are really efficient, and they work really, really good. If you have any questions about how well they work, I like I said, I did do
You
videos on
posted
it.
videos.
Yeah, they are filled and
Before we leave, I don't know if anybody in chat, any of my moderators put up Iron Dogger's channel, and if you could you real quick?
you have awesome mods. Big hug to your mods. They are just awesome.
They are great, and I had to I had to something happened the other day on another show, and I went to the hint like emailed one of my mods and said, sorry, I didn't mean to, I was wrong, I said something. So hopefully they got that email today, and
oh good,
sorry.
Communication is
I'll
a
admit
skill.
when I'm wrong.
Yeah, I do too, and I think communication's a skill, and I think a lot of people it's a lost skill, and it's definitely a lost art.
Did I miss something, guys? I see Mike said yes, Casher did a few times. So usually that's like somebody asked a question and I missed it.
Cashew's a sweetheart.
Absolute
sweetheart.
Yeah, she is. Good night, Patrick. Thank you. But yeah, guys, Iron Dogger, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll do this again sometime.
Yeah, my door is open to you. It's been open. You just refuse to come in.
Get another flat earther on. I'll be on in a heartbeat.
Now I know that. Now I know your kryptonite. So
and you know my little switch.
Awesome. All right. Well, you have an amazing night. You want to say goodbye to everybody in chat?
See ya, tubers and footies.
That's awesome.
See you later.
All right. Good night.
Bye.
Thanks again. Well, that was quite an interesting show, and I'm glad that I love the way it turned out. I've wanted to talk to Iron Dogger for a long time. I knew a lot about her, but I wanted her to tell you, about herself and the stuff she's been through and things she's done and accomplishments, and kudos to you as a human being. You've accomplished a lot of shit. That's awesome. And keep fighting a great fight. Absolutely. But yeah, it's 2 minutes and 12 or 2 hours and 12 minutes. Damn. I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. If you did, be sure to hit the like and subscribe and share. I'll see you guys on, I'll be again on Tuesday, but I'll see you guys probably tomorrow somewhere. You know what? Lee, I'm not sure yet. I have to get in touch with him as soon as he has a free moment when he's not on the road. I'll get him on and we will talk about that experience. But thanks for asking, dude. All right, guys. On that note, I want to thank everybody again. My moderators, you're amazing. Love you all. Iron Dogger, thank you. And Bigfoot Anon. That was interesting. We'll have you back on. Thanks. And on that, I want to say peace and God bless. Good night, everybody.